This show is intended for mature audiences. Topics of adult content, triggers, and explicit language may be discussed with or without warning. All thoughts and opinions belong to our hosts and do not reflect the original creator's own intentions. Spoilers for the book will be discussed, and while most discussion will revolve around the picked book, we do not guarantee there will be no spoiler warnings for other books or series. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Biblio Madness, where we discuss our current and favorite reads. I'm your host, Rachel.
And I'm your host, Laken. And today we are returning to Iron Flame. If you didn't catch our last episode, we split this up into two parts because
The book split up in two.
Yeah, it's split up into two parts already, and it's a lot to digest. And we kind of wanted to give you guys a chance to catch up with us if you had not had time to read.
Which we understand does happen because
Yeah.
for the first week I had finished and she had not. And we were both, I was on TikTok looking for fellow friends and they were all, is there anybody else out there
Who's
finished? And then I was like, hey, a lot of our listeners probably also haven't finished.
Yeah.
So we should give it a moment and see if we can let them catch up with us. So,
That being said, if you have not listened to part one of this, pause this, save it for later, go listen to that and come back. And if you've not reached part two of this book yet, please
wait.
do not listen to us talk, because we're going to try to keep this spoiler free as much as we can for the beginning. But it's going to be hard to do to not give away anything completely. So,
and we also want to have the ability to talk to those who have already finished the books and were like me in the beginning of the week, looking for fellow people who are also like retracing all of their steps in the book, because I decided to give it a second read after my first go around.
I do
now
plan
I
to
was
do
like,
this soon.
I need to like go through in detail and not just be like digesting everything. I need to go in with a level head.
Right.
Because like, I'm sorry, Fourth Wing killed me with Liam, and then after this I was just like,
This book
need to go back.
it's
go back.
a lot to digest. Holy cow. Oh shoot, I was gonna say something. What was I gonna say? I don't even remember. Oh well, it's gone.
It's alright. I'm gonna say welcome everybody from all the platforms, if you're watching on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to. We're happy that you are here and you are wanting to listen to us discuss our favorite reads and our current reads, which sometimes don't end up being our favorites. If you haven't watched the episode about Happy Place, it's not so happy.
But luckily, we have not had that big of a flop since
luckily.
since we read that.
But that was the first book of the podcast, so that started on a low note, and we have only gone uphill since.
Yes, we have.
So very glad that you guys are here, and let's go in. So Iron Flame Part 2, we left off on Part 1. Trying to remember the cliffhanger.
Part 1, I think, is when they leave Basque.
Yes.
So it's like right after that.
So that's where we're jumping in first.
Yeah, so we'll be talking a little bit about like our overall, I guess, thoughts and opinions of the second part before we get into the more spoilery stuff. Because there's a lot of theories.
And there's a lot of spoils. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be hard to talk about this book without spoiling some stuff.
Yeah, well, especially the end part. It's where everything happens. Really.
I will say, Violet, our main character, does grow a lot in this book, in my personal opinion.
She does.
There's a lot of growth, and like, she already had a ton of growth in Fourth Wing, from where she felt she was weak and scrawny, and then in this book, her growth is just exponential. So I'm really hoping that the beginning of all of these books does not end up with my favorite characters dying, because if you've read Fourth Wing and if you saw Part 1, we all know that this is written by, what's her name? Jasenia.
Yeah.
In modern language, and there are tales of these characters, so no one is safe with these books.
What wrecks me the most, and I noticed this like after the fact of reading, is that the letters and like the letters that are sent in the tops of the chapters, it says recovered correspondence.
Yes. And that's what wrecks me on all of it.
It makes me really nervous.
I'm not looking forward to finding out that my characters are all dead.
Yeah,
but I'm scared.
I'm breaking the cardinal rule, which I said for the series, and getting attached. I'm way too attached to our mains.
Oh yeah,
like, way too attached.
If anything happens to that dragon,
I wasn't
raise
even talking
hell.
about the dragons. That's like a
I will
don't go there.
raise hell. Okay?
There are two things that I think if it would happen, the books would end there. Like the series would end there for me. Is if her dragons died, or if Xaden like got killed off. I'd be like, I'm sorry, this is it for me. This is where the series ends. Iron Flame is it.
I'm not gonna lie. If Xaden died, I'd be upset, but I would want to know what Violet's ending is. If any of the dragons die,
Yeah.
that's what I'm gonna be pissed at.
When Dag died in the first book, that was like gut wrenching, and I cannot imagine it being like a dragon that we have grown to love, like Taryn or Indarna.
I'm not prepared
I couldn't even think
for
of
any of that. All right, you wanna jump in? You've got a lot. She's got a lot of notes written down, guys.
I have notes because I have a lot of theories.
She got a lot of notes. She came prepared for this today.
Yeah.
We just got back. My husband built a PC, so we got back literally 10 minutes before you got here. Maybe. That's 20 minutes, because he needed me to go with and carry it in the car, so it didn't, like, hit anything.
Right. I was wondering how he was gonna...
Yeah. He used me.
Take that.
He wasn't gonna use me originally, or we were gonna leave later, because we left here at, like, 3, so we would have been able to if you...
Oh, well. It's okay. We're here now.
We are waiting for parts, but we're here, and we're doing it. So, start us off. What notes do you got? Where are we going?
So, I'm trying to figure out, like, where the best place to start this, because my notes are definitely not,
cohesive?
They're not cohesive. They're not in, like, a chronological order to what has happened in the book.
I'm trying to find the split. I know it's at 334, 335.
I will say that I think... I can't... We're going to have to end up we're just going to end up having to talk about the ending, I think, first, because it's hard to talk about any of the other things and, like, theories of what goes on with it without talking about the ending. And if you've out there and you've read the ending...
Before the rest of the book, you monster, is what I'm going to say. Why?
No, not before they've read the book, but if they're out there and you've finished the book and you know the ending, then you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's fair. So part 2 begins at page 335, which ends at page 334. So there's that. This is beginning part 2. It's pretty evenly split down the middle. And we said it in the first episode for this, we highly believe that this could have been 2 books, and I am very grateful that she made it into 1, but I am also terrified to see what happens in the next book.
I am too.
All right. So, I know we haven't talked much.
Is there anything you want to say before that? Like,
before we start getting into spoilers, I say we say our ratings for the book, so those who want to read it know our rating, and then can go and get the book, or know it's at least gonna be somewhere in that realm. I feel like that's at least ideal for the newer listeners who are listening for the first time, and or may have not read this book at all and are like, this is the first episode I saw. Go back. Pick an episode of a book you read.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say this book for me, Fourth Wing gripped me, wrecked me, made me have all of the emotions.
Right.
Definitely a 6-star book in my...
Same. That was my 6-star read for this year too.
In my opinion. Now, in series, it is rare for the second book to be better than the first. I've only seen it done twice.
Right.
Once with Sarah J. Maas, and then once with Tracy Wolff.
Yeah.
Where the second book is better. I will also say in the Shadow and Bone series, it's better. Quill Print series is better, but Carnival series, it gets better as you go on. But that's like, in general, the story gets better.
Right.
But it's not like the next book is like...
out of the water.
Like, out of the water great. So, Iron Flame was definitely a good 4.75 5-star read, in my opinion.
I would call it a 5-star read for me as well. Like, it's not a bad book at all. Like you said, there was something about Fourth Wing that, like, I don't know, made it...
It was laced.
It
was laced with something.
That's what I keep saying. I think it was the magic of, like, just being brought into the new world, and it was, like, gripping, and everybody else was experiencing it at the same time, and it was, I don't know.
I will also agree with the fact that, like, as much as this is a 5-star read, I did not reread Fourth Wing immediately because I was hurt. And
I have not reread this immediately. I am very hurt by this.
I've heard.
Not to the level that Fourth Wing did to me,
Yeah.
but it's close.
They killed a golden retriever in Fourth Wing, is what they did.
Yeah, Liam.
So that just wrecks every person.
Yeah.
I say this book left so many questions, and we've learned now with Rebecca's writing, she leaves Easter eggs.
Yeah.
So that makes the want to reread stronger, which I think if you can get a book and you read it twice, then you got a solid book.
Yes, if you finish it and the only thing you can think is, I need to go back and reread this.
Yeah.
It's a good book.
It's definitely, for sure, a great book. Highly suggest picking up and reading the series if you have not. And I don't know, it's captivating, and it kind of makes you feel like an investigator. But the fun fact is we're investigating something that hasn't even been written yet.
Right.
We're investigating a layout of words that aren't even written.
Right. Yeah.
So we're trying to break into Rebecca's mind and predict the future, which is intriguing,
hard,
but also nearly impossible.
I will say, so many theories that I had for Fourth Wing were like immediately disproven in this book.
Yeah.
So I am curious to see which theories we have from this which hold true.
Yeah, because her mom,
yeah,
her dad, like her parents' story with what we're left off at Fourth Wing changes drastically, even through part one, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
The ground's being laid for that to change.
There was a theory, like, in the first book, after the first book, that Violet's mom was, like, in on everything, and that she was out to kill Violet because of that, and we find out in this book that is
a theory. That's a theory.
It's a theory. It definitely is not true. Her mom did know the truth, but
yeah, I'm
she
curious
never went
to see
out
where
to
the
kill
politics are going to. I'm very curious. Very intrigued with the politics of it, and hence my rereading and my going back and noting things.
I think it is. I'm really enjoying the perspective, which I don't think we've gotten as much. Like, even when we see parallel storylines from Blood and Ash, you know, where a sheltered girl is like her entire world is a lie.
Yeah.
I feel like in that series the main character didn't struggle with it as much, but we see Violet really, really struggling to come to terms that everything is a lie in this book, because like knowledge and her history and her facts were like her grounding this, like what she grounded herself in, and it's been like pulled out from under her in this book.
Which is also the same thing Poppy from Blood and Ash
Yeah, that's
did.
what I was talking about. I feel like she didn't struggle with it as much though. Like it was like a, oh, I'm tumbling and everything's different, and then she's like, okay, well, I hated my life anyways before.
Yeah. All right, so big spoiler warning for everyone out there. We're going to dive in. We're going to try to keep it down with spoiling everything. We're going to talk about the bigger topics, but we still want there to be some life to it. If you are the person that looks for spoilers and you're the one who's like, I want to know what the last sentence of the book is, and then I want to get there through the journey. If you're that kind of person, then you can probably continue listening.
Yeah.
You're going to hear the big spoilers, but if you want to know how it ended up that way, you're going to need to read the book. All right, so the ending. Xaden's point of view. I gave you the spoiler warning. If you're still not gone, your own fault at this point.
Big spoiler warning.
This is what I was telling Laken in the last episode, was there was 4 words that at the end of the book, just 4 words that he said.
See, those 4 words did not affect me as much as the last sentence in the chapter before it.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like, you told me the last 4 words, and so I thought that was the end, but I was like, this isn't 4 words.
No.
It was the last sentence that I thought you were talking about is he says, you should be scared of me. And I was like, oh no.
No.
No,
those weren't the last words I was talking about. The last words I was talking about, last sentences, guess we're brothers now. So, here's big spoiler. Yeah. We all hated Jack, right? In 4th Wing?
I still hate Jack.
We hate him, right?
He comes back and he's worse.
He's back, he's worse, and he's brothers. Guess we're brothers now is not said to anyone that you think. It is said to Xaden.
Yeah, I think it's...
So,
something happens to... Do we want to say what happens to Xaden?
It's a big spoiler, but it's out there on the internet already.
Yeah.
It's all over TikTok. He's part of the bad guys.
Bad guys.
The Venom.
Yeah.
He's one of them.
He turned venom to save everybody.
Which,
Speaking of that scene when he did it, when Scale was like, when she was telling him no, and like, you can't because I chose you, and then he said, but Violet chose me too.
I can't.
This man has raised my standards. Like, he is.
You're already married.
No, I know. But I am simping hard for this man after this book. Like, holy crap! Like, I thought he was good in Fourth Wing.
Yeah,
he's almost dethroning like Rhysand in my mind.
Oh,
like, he's that close. If he continues to get any better,
she's vibing with the human, and I'm sitting over here like, Taryn, hey.
Well, hey, listen.
Hey,
I will say here's my interesting two-piece that I've not seen anybody else talk about. Bodhi.
Okay.
I think if I were in that universe, I would go for Bodhi.
That's what everybody's been saying.
I'm not seeing
Bodhi
it
and Riddick and Bodhi are the ones I've
seen. Everybody say they go for Riddick.
Yes.
I freaking love Riddick, man, and I'm terrified for him. When he got shot, I literally screamed, like sat up. It was like no. But no, Bodhi.
I like Bodhi.
I love him.
Yeah,
and the fact like Xaden was jealous of him instantly, and I was like, oh, so I feel like he's like the Az of this series because he's quiet and in the background, but obviously he's powerful because we saw a glimpse of his signet.
Yeah,
which is where he can counteract other people's signets and kind of nullify them.
Crazy.
I do think that Bodhi's signet is going to come into play with Xaden at some point.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna have to like help control him.
I am very curious to see what happens to Xaden after everything that has, especially with...
She needs to fix this, that's all I gotta say.
The venom. I'm either hoping there's... My theories around that, there's three. Is, one, there's going to find a cure, because she's going to miss him.
Yeah, there was... Piggybacking off of that real quick, there was a letter sent to... Violet's mom from the like Mender saying there is no cure, there's only control.
Yeah.
But it poses the question that Violet's mom was looking for a cure.
Yeah.
Which opens up a whole other cache of questions. But I am holding out hope that the fact that there has been mention of one,
that we can find one.
We can find one eventually somehow.
Or maybe because of her second dragon, who is unannounced.
We also find out Andarna
maybe
is not quite who she says she is.
Yeah, so maybe she could.
Poor Violet.
Or maybe her blood could.
Everyone in her life has been like, I'm not who I said I was.
Everyone.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's sad. It's very sad. But I'm curious. So that's one theory with Xaden. The other theory is that Violet turns with him.
Yeah, I've seen that, and we talked about that a little bit before.
Yeah.
Violet has a nightmare, like recurring one, where the venom talks about like you will turn for love.
Yeah.
And blah yada yada yada. But like in Xaden's point of view, at the very end when he's turning, that's like, like it's almost verbatim, word for word, what the venom says to him about it. So I'm curious. And Violet did almost turn at the very end.
Yeah.
Her mom kicked her to prevent her from, burning out or drawing any power. But I don't think Violet is a what would you say? I think she could very easily turn anti-hero.
Yes.
I think she could turn for other reasons.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I also I don't know. I'm so scared for Xaden right now.
I'm terrified.
I'm real scared for Xaden.
She better fix it though. I did look up their names, like the characters' name meanings, because as an author and as a writer, names have a lot of meaning. At least
when you pick them.
In my mind, a good writer has names that have meaning. So Xaden's name means cleansing beam of light. So fingers crossed that cleansing word comes into play.
Oh my god.
Because I need him to be better. But I'm also really scared because I saw them say that Rebecca doesn't like doing like classical tropes.
Yeah.
She doesn't like following along those like guidelines, which, the classic enemies to lovers is what we've thought it is. And I saw someone say, what if it's lovers to enemies? And I was like, no.
So this is what I'm scared of. There's a few things. One, what you just said, that's terrifying. I don't want to go from lovers to enemies because I just watched a movie like that because that's what happened here.
Like I said, the series will end right there. It'll end at Iron Flame for me if that happens in the next.
And then there's also the fact that Gosh, my brain just blanked for a few seconds because I talked about Hunger Games.
It also means that Violet could be in danger, which I'm also very scared of.
Yeah. Everyone's in danger
Everyone's
right now.
in danger in this book. Don't get attached.
Yeah.
Don't be like me.
You got too attached.
I am.
I'm more emotionalist because I finished this book last week. And
even Liam got you, though.
Oh, yeah.
Liam got everybody.
Liam, if you didn't cry or at least get watery eyes when Liam died, you are humanless.
You
have no humanity, and then you're good for this book because you need to lose your humanity, and that's what that book was doing. And I'm still a firm believer that in Fourth Wing she killed Liam to kill off the humanity.
It didn't work.
She killed off the golden retriever.
Like I said, I'm still too attached to everybody.
I'm attached, but I'm attached to the dragons more than I am the people.
I'm attached to the people too.
And I'm attached to the people because of the dragons. Because they're bonded with them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, freaking stop killing dragons. I'm gonna fight somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to get back to what I was gonna say, but I legitimately have blanked.
We were talking about the tropes.
Oh, yes. The trope where people are thinking that if Xaden is another Tamlin, if you haven't read Akatar, I'm sorry. If Xaden isn't her true love, and it is enemies to lovers, and the enemy is Dane, I will also DNF the series.
No, that's a no for me.
I would not read the rest of the series.
I am not 100% completely trusting Dane still.
No,
but he is getting a redemption.
He is, but I don't want him to.
I don't actually mind him getting a redemption because, like, yes, what he did was incredibly screwed up, but like, I think he realizes it. But also the moment when like Xaden has his confession to Violet and Dane hears, and he says after that confession, I fell in love with him too. I was like, okay,
that's fair. But if they switch it and they try to make Violet end up with him, I'm gonna be mad. Now
that'll be a no. Any scenario which Xaden and Violet are not in game is just gonna be it for me. I will not accept a future where they're not. I'm with Xaden.
It's gonna need to be some great freaking writing for me to accept another love interest.
I don't think I could.
But I know we've talked about this happened in the I don't remember what part of this book it happened where they were talking about her father. Do you know
which part?
There's been a lot about her father.
There's a couple really big moments talking about her dad.
I'm trying to remember in the series because remember where I was like trying to like think of things that could have happened. You can spoil it.
Are you talking about the theory where he's Venom?
Yes.
Okay.
Because her mom looking for a cure made me think that her dad died because he was Venom.
Yeah, there is a theory, and I have two theories right now for why her mom was looking for a cure. One is that Violet's dad turned Venom, and ended up dying, or maybe not dying. Maybe he just went away.
Yes, which is what my theory was last time.
Because in the very end, after Violet's mom has her untimely end, there's this like recovered. It says unsent correspondence, so it's like an unsent letter that Violet's mom wrote to her dad, and she says, most generals dream of dying in service to save their kingdom, but you know me better than that. When I fall, it will be for one reason only: to protect our children. Gutted me. I haven't actually said it, but Violet's mom ends up giving up her life to, save everybody and save Violet, and it completely gutted me. I did not think I would be that tore up over that death, and it absolutely wrecked me the way it happened.
It's because she was having motherly instincts.
It was the first time we've ever seen her be like anything other than a stuck-up.
Yeah. Because in the first book, I think that's our enemies to lovers. Like, in the first book, we hated her. In the second book, we love her.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was great writing that you were able to make me feel like she was able to make me feel that much for a character I didn't care anything for until that chapter. And then I was crying. it was rough.
All right. We're going to take a quick moment. I'm going to make sure we're still recording, and then we can continue. All right. I'm back. Sorry if the video cut out for a second. My sixth sense when I said I need to go check to make sure we're still recording was correct. So we've got 40 minutes of footage, probably about 4 minutes cut off, and now we're back in. Mm-hmm. So apologize for the brief break and lack of film. That was my bad. I'm just glad my brain said, hey, something's not doing what it's supposed to, and I got up to check. So,
Yeah.
glad about that, because that was 40 minutes we still have. All right, so jumping back in to, let's finish off with your theories, because we've talked about a lot of the spoilers.
We don't have to mention everything on this list either. But
you're good.
So we were talking about Violet's dad being Venom.
Yes.
And the biggest clue I have here for this is that the big thing we've learned throughout the series that she mentions over and over again is that scribes hold all the power. And of course, the very classic saying that knowledge is power.
Yes.
So
I love how, let's just go back. We know you've learned with talking about books with me. I'm real good at guessing things.
Yeah.
Crave guessed her father. I looked at you at Fourth Wing and I was like, what if he's not dead?
Yeah, you said that, and then you said, what if he's one of the bad guys? And I was like, how would you piece that together? But after reading the second half of the book, I was like,
yeah,
maybe. Maybe so.
You're like the bad guys.
So I am not. I think it would explain the Venon's obsession with getting Violet.
Yeah.
Maybe he's one of their generals or something because they want her alive.
Or what if he's the main freaking dude?
That's what I'm saying.
What if he's the big bad dude? The biggest and the baddest.
That would be really sad.
And her mom was
Violet.
trying to protect her from her father, but she loves loves her husband.
I am going to be gutted.
It's going to be heart-wrenching, but there is a lot of... I'm hoping that this is not a chosen one trope. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of chosen one tropes.
It has to be written very well for me to enjoy a chosen one trope.
So I'm hoping it's not that.
Same.
But because I like the reality of Fourth Wing being that they're just humans living in a mystical world versus being like, oh, you're a fairy, or oh, you're a so and I like those books. Don't get me wrong, I do love ACOTAR and other books like that. It's just I personally really want to see someone weak like she is.
I think it
become
adds,
great.
Yeah, it adds a sense of accomplishment. I feel in relatability that it's not these all powerful, invincible, godlike people. Violet has a crazy strong signet. We actually find out that she has two signets.
Yes.
Which there are more theories that are circulating around because Rebecca has said that her signet has already her second one has already manifested.
Yeah.
In this book, we just have to find it.
Which now I'm like, do I have to read this for a third time? And look for that now?
The most popular theory I've seen with this, and I only have one qualm with it, is people think that she has a connection to Malik, the god of death.
Yeah.
Because she sees Liam when she's being tortured, and he tells her that he's not a hallucination. And so people are like, maybe she, brought him back and she can talk to the dead or something. The only thing I have with that is that her signets were blocked during that because they were feeding her the serum. So I don't know.
But maybe they can't block a signet they don't know about, or know if.
Or maybe Andarna is just so powerful it didn't work.
They don't have a dragon type like her in existence because she is the 7th dragon and there was originally 6. If she's brand new, the poison they have might not be able to block her signet because she's a dragon they haven't seen before.
That's why I'm not completely crossing that out.
Yeah.
It's just my only maybe.
I'm
a little skeptical of it, but I'm not crossing it off the possibilities.
Yeah, she could have also been hallucinating. Even though Liam said he wasn't, she could have.
Yeah, I also think maybe she's an amplifier, which is the opposite of a siphon, because there are other times in the book where people have abilities that start when she's around, Sloane, her signet manifests around Violet, and then other people, they tend to perform better or are stronger when they're around her. So I'm wondering if maybe that's it, but I don't know. I don't have enough concrete proof to say that.
I'm also curious to see if, do you remember in Fourth Wing, if that's true, and she does amplify things, and she wasn't aware of it, and neither was the baby dragon? Remember the guy that started reading minds automatically? He got overwhelmed, and it killed him? Yeah. She was in the room.
She was there with him, yeah.
So it might have amplified, so it made it worse for him, because Caleb's like, how would you control that? And I'm like, but now I'm like...
Yeah. So, I don't know, maybe. It would be interesting if that was the case, because Taryn's previous writer was a siphon.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm very curious to see what happens with that.
I have so many questions. This book did not...
I know!
It did not it answered things, and then it left you with like times 10 the
Why
amount of questions.
do you think I went back and reread it? That's why I was like, I gotta go back. I gotta figure out what I'm missing now that I know what the ending is, and I'm not caring about the characters, and I'm not caring about the dragons, and I'm looking at the writing now that with fresh eyes.
Yeah, now that we don't care about like getting the story, we got to go back and actually get behind the story.
Yeah. So. And I agree with that. This is definitely a 2-time read book for sure, because there's a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of theories that you can go into with Xaden, with her parents, with Violet, with the dragons. There's just so much.
It's so much
and the world.
So much information. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Because I don't know. The only things I have left are like fangirl moment, and then the question I have about Sawyer at the end. That's pretty much it.
Go for your fangirl moment, and then we'll talk about Sawyer.
Chapter 48. So,
Chapter 48.
The 6 words. My house. My chair.
My chair.
My woman.
I almost forgot about that.
How did you forget?
I've been seeing memes about it, and I keep going back. Oh.
There's another line that comes after that did it even more for me, but I will not be repeating that on...
I need a... Yeah. Well, maybe I will. She has limits. I don't. Where is it? Chapter 48?
Yeah, chapter 48.
That's past part. That's...
Xaden, like, shot up in the... Oh my gosh. He...
Yeah, she be simping hard over here. It's fine.
I can't keep doing this.
Oh no, I almost ripped a page.
It's page like 460, around 466, because page 466 is another one I marked.
This is 466. Hold on, I need to know. I have to go in and read. You said page 46?
No, that's just another one I wrote down. It's just around that. I don't know which one it is exactly.
Hold on. Oh. Jeez, that got really aggressive really quickly.
That's what I said.
Yeah, my house, remember? They're all my rooms. This is a spicy chapter.
I was blushing hard in that. Not even because
my husband is going to be reading these books.
It was the way he was talking. I was like, oh my god.
Every time, so fun fact, when Caleb reads these, he's going to get mad that I'm saying this, but he feels like people are watching him, and he feels like he opened a door he shouldn't have, and he needs to close it, but he can't because he has to like get to the next chapter.
Yeah.
My house, my chair. Each claim with...
I don't remember.
Oh, I understand why you said you weren't going to say that. That's a sentence that if you have the book, you need to
read it.
Go to page 459. Go to about halfway through the page.
Yeah. So this chapter is like the equivalent of chapter 55 in A Court of Mist and Fury for me.
Let's just say he's popping buttons. That's what you get.
It was a lot. And then Violet, I think, though, afterwards, where she confronts Kat afterwards, and she says, thanks for the trick. I was with Riddick there. I was like, that's my girl. You tell her.
I did not like her. I'm sorry.
I didn't like Kat either. I was so over that, like, arc and storyline until that chapter, and I was like, it was worth it. It was worth dealing with her for that chapter.
Fair. Alright. So, Sawyer.
So at the end, where Sawyer gets his leg bit off?
Yeah.
I am wondering if it's going to prevent him from being a rider. Because how do you ride a dragon when you're missing a leg? You can't. I don't know if they're going to do like a hiccup moment where he has like a peg leg. But
I don't think it will be a peg leg. They have healers that are better than that.
He's missing his whole head leg. You can't heal that.
I know. Doesn't mean you have to heal it. It means they could make something.
I know, they might be able to make it, but that's what I'm saying. Like, would it still be preventative enough that he would not be able to ride his dragon anymore?
Dragons don't want to lose their riders, so I feel like it's going to be like a Terran moment when he lowers his shoulder down for her to get up.
Or maybe he gets a saddle, too.
Yeah, the dragons are going to do something for him, specifically.
I thought it was so cool, too, at that moment when that was happening, that Violet was able to... She boarded not one, but 2 dragons that were not her own. And they didn't kill her for it.
Which is surprising, especially, speaking of Andrian, I can't say her name correct.
Who?
The dragon.
Andarna?
Or Andarna. When she breathes fire and she's talking, I think it was Kat she was talking to. Kat said
Oh,
it.
yeah, because Kat talked to her and she said, don't talk to dragons.
You don't know.
Yeah, she's like, don't talk to dragons that aren't bonded to you.
Yeah, because she was sassy in that
Andarna
moment.
was so sassy throughout this whole book. Oh, snarky teenager Andarna.
Sassy. I love her in sassy mode, though, honestly.
It was great. I'm loving the memes about her right now. It's great.
Yeah, also speaking of, she slept for how many years before she...
So we find out that when we find out, it's page 609, we find out Andarna's secret, so to say.
Yeah.
When she's the seventh dragon, and she says to Violet that she waited 650 years to hatch. She waited until she heard about Violet. She waited until Violet's 18th birthday when the elders were talking about the general's weak daughter. And then she was like, this is my rider. I'm hatching
crazy.
now.
Where she just was like waiting. She was waiting to hatch until she knew someone on the earth was worth her.
I really, really highly think that something is going to happen with Violet, and maybe playing into the Chosen One theory a little bit here, that Andarna is like the key to something, and her choosing Violet is like, maybe not Violet being the Chosen One, maybe it's Andarna. That through her is Violet being.
Can I prepare you for something you're not going to want to get prepared for?
What?
Okay. So this is a theory I have. I haven't said it yet. But Violet has two dragons. Xaden has one.
Are you thinking the same thing I'm thinking about this, in which if one of her dragons dies,
the other will keep her?
Yeah.
The other will keep her alive. I came to that
conclusion.
Yeah, that's what I'm really scared about, and I love Taryn.
Dies,
and if Taryn dies, I will
That thought crossed
break,
my mind.
But I know Andarna would keep Violet alive, and I'm waiting for Taryn to go save her. And I can't think about that moment where Xaden dies and Siegel she dies and then
Taryn dies. Yeah, it was the moment when Andarna and her were in the pit together, and then she felt Xaden dying. Yeah, I was like, I think she's gonna live, because this whole time we've been worried that if Violet dies or Xaden dies, then everybody dies. Yeah, because Taryn and Violet are so strongly bonded, and Scale and Xaden are so strongly bonded, and then Scale and Taryn
are mates.
I do think Andarna would keep her alive.
I think, and I think Taryn would want her to keep her alive. But I can't. Rebecca, if you do that to me,
if you kill Taryn, it's you're gonna have a bounty on your head, miss.
I don't know.
The fandom will not forgive you for that.
I don't think I'm gonna be too happy with you on that one. Nope. That one might break me. That would be worse than Liam, and that is a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Making something worse than Liam. I don't think I don't know how I could face you. I would be like, you killed the best thing that world had.
Yeah.
The best partnership. Okay, no one talks about Xaden's dragon either, and I love her.
I freaking
love her.
Where is this page at? I have to find it.
You sheet.
I didn't tab all of them. I just marked down the most important pages.
Just put paper. Just rip paper up and put it in there.
So here's how good Taryn is. Okay, so when Andarna is talking to Violet, she says that she wants to be just like him, and that's why she's appearing as a black dragon. Which that sentence gutted me, but she's saying that Taryn doesn't know her true identity, only the elders do. And then later she says they revere him. He is strong and loyal and fierce. And I was like, oh, yes, he is. And anything to happen to him. And when Violet was, giving up her life to fix everything, and she told Andarna and Taryn, she's like, you have to live. You have to choose to live without me. And Taryn was like, nope, I didn't choose you as my next, I chose you as my last. I will follow you. And I was like,
I can't with that crap. Xaden, you're not allowed to die because your dragon's not allowed to die. Taryn's not allowed to die because if he does, I will die too. My soul will die. It'll be gone, left in those words written by Rebecca. They will be on those pages forever. I'm going to cry big tears.
I have been scarred by many books killing off beloved characters.
But animals for me is different.
Not just animals. This goes beyond animals to me. I have a lot, of trust issues and trauma from people killing off good characters.
Yeah.
Like, but killing off Taryn would be like, I don't think I could ever overcome that. I don't think I could. I think that would be like, I'm sorry, I'm done. I hope the series is good after this, but I won't know.
I love Hudson and Jackson, but honestly, I'm more connected to this dragon than I am to either of them.
It would not faze me as much as Taryn being killed. Nothing would. Nothing in any of the series I have ever read before would affect me as much as that
Taryn is like her father at this point. He is the grandpa she never had. He is so freaking good. If you kill him, I need the sarcasm in my life.
Yeah.
So I think that's everything I've got on
that's
that
everything
note.
I've got, really.
Rebecca, please, for everything good and holy,
fix this.
Fix it and don't kill Taryn.
Just fix it, please. Make it go back.
Don't kill his mate.
Oh.
Just don't do that, okay?
I don't think she would kill Xaden off, though, because he's the, like, supposed heir.
Do we know if Xaden is going to be her last rider, though? Do we know?
I think so. I think that's the reason the whole, like, neither of them can die. Yeah. Because Skell is, like, she's so bonded to him.
Okay, tell us your theories. Message us on Instagram, DM us. Do what you need to do if you haven't finished. If you have finished and you need some sympathy, some like-minded people.
Yeah.
Come our way. Tell us if you think differently. Tell us if your soul will break too. Be real sad, man. I don't know if you understand how sad I'm going to be.
We're not putting this out into the universe.
No. Rebecca, if you hear this and this becomes your idea because you want to destroy readers, don't have such a Merry Christmas.
There's a line of...
Okay.
There's a line of, like, you know, emotionally wrecking them and then, like, completely destroying your fan base. And if that happened, I don't think there'd be a fan base anymore.
No, you destroy it so quickly. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming and listening. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, hit us up on Instagram. We also are trying to do threads. I'm not that good at it. I'm learning it. TikTok also. It's a learning curve for both of us. Yeah. Social media is not a strong suit. We're both good at Instagram most of the time. We're trying our best. We're just two average girls.
Yeah.
Still working outside of this. We're busy gals. We're doing this because we love books and we love you guys. So have a great night. Have a happy upcoming week in the holiday season. If you're shopping, be safe. And I think that's everything. So have a great night or a great morning. Bye.
Whatever.
Whatever time it is. Farewell, everybody.